Konnichiwa guys, PXCam20 back again with butchering another language on GT Sport. We're here for a daily race B at Suzuka. As you can see, we are in our 911 starting in 7th place for this race. As I haven't been able to get this track done for some reason. I've been struggling a lot as I've been putting in a lot of practice time on this track, but I haven't been able to do better than a 7th. So we are starting in 7th with a 2-minute 0.5 second lap. And again, we just couldn't improve from there. As much as I tried, I just couldn't get it better than that. So before we jump into the race here, we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. If you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel as well. So now let's jump straight into the video. So jumping straight into the race, you can see we are in lucky number 7 as we are starting in the 911 as we head to our grid spot now. Coming into the grid spot, we are waiting for the lights now. We get the 3, 2, 1, and we are a go. So now we are heading down towards the final corner that leads us into the straight as we're trying to get into the slipstream 06 as early as we can. We swerve left and right because I've seen a couple of cars do that, be heading into turn number 1 as supposedly it warms up the tires. I'm not sure if it does that. If you guys know if it does or doesn't, leave a comment down below. But yeah, from what I've seen, I mean, I think it helps. I mean, it feels kind of good, but I mean, we'll see as we head towards the rest of the races. We're heading towards S-curve now. We're trying to catch up to the 6th place car as we're making up a little bit of time on him. So we're trying to clip the apexes as best as we can, but failing miserably as you see 6 is still a little wiggly as we come into the S-curves. Coming out of the S-curves now, that's going to head us into Degner 1, Degner 2. We fast forward here as we head towards Degner 1, Degner 2, going into the hairpin now. We're trying to still catch up to him as we were able to make a little bit of time, but as you can see ahead of us, 4th and 5th are starting to battle with each other as we're trying to brake as late as we can heading into spoon curve. We brake very, very late, but we actually missed the apex, so that invites the 8th place car to try to make a move on the inside. He makes the move on the inside, he gets the overtake done, but he runs wide coming out of spoon curve. So we try to make a move on the inside, get a cut back on him. He's trying to pinch us onto the inside as we head in onto the straightaway, leading into 130R. But we're able to get a good enough top end speed heading into 130R, and we swoop right ahead of him. Coming into 130R, we actually get a really bad exit as we go very, very wide. Trying to move it to the left-hand side as we try to get a good entrance into the chicane, but that invites 8th place again to make an overtake, and he makes a classy overtake going into the chicane as we have to let go of the position coming down into lap number 2. So fast forwarding here as we head into turn number 1 again. Heading into turn number 1, you see there's a car that's going out wide, and it's actually the R8 of Cartman. As he tries to move back into the space right here, as we slot right behind him. He's still a little twitchy because of the dirty tires that he got from going into the marbles. As we're trying to make a move on the outside now, heading into the S-curves. As you can see on the fast forwarding, he's still a little twitchy, but luckily he gets grips back to his tires, and we're unable to make the move there as we head into the hairpin. So coming to the hairpin now, you see there's a car that actually gets spun out, and we actually get bumped up from behind. And I believe it's the Mazda that thinks he's running the reverse layout of this track, as he gets spun out and clearly heading the wrong direction. But now we're heading to Degner 1, Degner 2. As you can see, the RA is still a little twitchy going into Degner 2 as the car actually goes out wide and goes spun out. I think it was the Corvette, and we're able to make another overtake. So now we're up into 6th. So starting in 7th, up to 6th now. And we jump up into lap number 4 here as we were able to make up another position because the car had a penalty. We head into 130R, but we make a very, very wide exit as we head into the last chicane here. And you can see the top 3 cars are starting to fight with each other as we're trying to catch up to them, but we're unable to coming out into the final corner. We're going to finish this race in 5th place as the front 3 cars were unable to take each other out and allow us to get another position. So finishing our first race in 5th place, not too shabby. Let's see what we can do on the second race here as we are starting again in 7th place, but except we switched our cars. So now we are now in the R8 instead of the 911. So hopefully that can bring us some positive vibes, and we could probably hopefully finish in a better position than 5th place as we come into our race. So jumping into lap number 1, heading to turn number 1, you see already there's a Porsche that goes out wide. Does the exact same thing that the R8 does the last game, except he comes back into the track, cuts it right through the inside, and we had to do a wreck avoidance challenge there as we almost run into the back of the 911. Luckily, we braked as early as we can to not run into him. But now he's getting under pressure from us as we head into the outside, coming to the final part of S-curves. We're going to move into the outside. It's going to turn into the inside. We keep it pinched onto the inside. He makes contact with us as we head out of S-curve. And if you're looking on the replay here, I just want to see to make sure that it wasn't me that came out. And it was kind of both half and half, but I think he came down on us. So fair move on us. We are able to make the overtake, and now we're up into 6th place. As you see, we have a ton of time to catch up to the top 5, but you see 4th and 5th actually spin out as we almost made contact with 4th. Luckily, he ghosted out, so we're able to make the overtake there, but that slowed us down a little bit. So now we're getting under pressure by the Peugeot on the outside of us. He actually drifts past us, so drifts for the overtake. We're trying to make a cutback on him coming out of the hairpin, but he gets a better exit than us somehow because of that drift. And we get 5th place now behind the Peugeot as we head into the straightaway that's going to lead us into the spoon curve. Trying to make a move onto the inside before we hit spoon curve. We brake as late as we can. He gives us the inside, but he pinches us down again, and we lose a little bit of grip. So we have to now keep it as narrow as we can come into the spoon curve. As you see, we're getting pressure from behind. So now we head down the straightaway leading into 130R. We get into the slipstream of the Peugeot. We give him a little bit of a tap there heading into 130R. He goes a little bit wide, but he does not wide enough to mess him up, as 3rd place actually goes spinning out, gets RKO'd by the barriers, and we're able to get ourselves into 4th place, as I cannot speak anymore. Anyways, heading to the hairpin now. We're trying to make a move onto the Peugeot as he actually slowed down a little bit. We're able to gain a ton of time on him. Get a great exit coming out as we get into the slipstream of him heading into spoon curve. We're going to try to stay in the slipstream, but unfortunately we were unable to make anything happen there as we head into lap number 3. Heading into lap number 3, going to the hairpin again. We're trying to catch up to him again as we make a wide entrance heading into the hairpin. We're going to try to stay behind him as we try to get a good exit off, but the Peugeot actually gets a better exit than us. We're going to stay on the slipstream as we should be able to get a top end speed better than him as we head into spoon curve again. Coming down the straightaway now, we're still in his slipstream heading to spoon curve. Brake early as possible so we can clip the apex perfectly. The Peugeot actually gets a really bad exit coming out, and we're able to capitalize on that. So we're going to try to get a good exit coming out of spoon curve, heading down the straightaway into 130R. We get into the slipstream again as it's very, very powerful on the straightaway. We're trying to stay right behind him. We're going to try to make a move on the outside as we're catching up to him really, really quick. Coming into the outside of 130R. We back out of the move actually as we got too wide. We go straight into the outside of 130R as the Peugeot is able to hold his spot now. Coming to the chicane. We head into the chicane as, you know, very, very wide. And we actually lose grip coming out of the chicane as we get bumped from 5th place. He's not going to be pressuring us heading to the final lap now. So fast forwarding here as we head into turn number 1. We brake as late as we can, and the 5th place car actually gets a very good run coming out of turn number 1. He bumps us out wide, and he's able to make the overtake coming out of turn number 1 as he gets 4th place from us coming into the S curves now. So coming to the S curves, we are unable to do anything there, so we were unable to capitalize on anything and catch up to 4th place. And we're going to finish the exact same position that we finished the first race, in 5th place in the RA. So disappointing finish as we probably could have finished in 4th, but we messed up. So coming to our final race now, we are starting in 9th place in the RA as we got paired up with cars who are faster than us. And so we have to now try to catch up as best as we can as we want to finish somewhere better than 5th place as we head into the final corner leading us into the straightaway. Going down to turn number 1 on lap number 1, we get a little bump from behind as we try to go into turn number 2 as best as we can. And we go a little bit wide as we come out of turn number 2, so we get really bad traction going into the S curves now as we're starting to get pressured from the car behind. We fast forward a little bit, and you see the car behind us is still pressuring us on the mini map as we head into Degner 1 and Degner 2. We brake as late as we can heading into Degner 1 and as early as we can to Degner 2 so we can cover our spot, but we actually go a little too narrow going into Degner 2. We get loose coming out, and that invites 10th place to make an overtake on us as we head into the right-hander and the left-hander of the hairpin. Brake as late as we can, but it invites 11th place to come into follow 9th place. So now we're getting pressured by 10th place on the outside as we head 2x2 going down this straight, heading into the spoon curve. We're on the inside now, so we head into spoon curve, but we have to let go of that as we're not going to go side by side going into spoon curve. Stay right behind 10th place as we head into the final part of spoon curve. Go take a narrow line as we want to get a good exit coming out. And 10th place actually goes very, very wide. We both go wide as he's still on the grass as he gets a really bad exit coming out. Heading on the straightaway, going into 130R now. We're on the slipstream, trying to make a move on the outside here. We go into the grass. He tries to pinch us out wide, and we actually make contact with him. So we get very, very loose, get tapped from behind. 10th place goes out wide as he tries to cut back into the track, cuts us off into the chicane. That invites the red Porsche to go past us. And now we are demoted all the way down to 12th place as we head down the straightaway, leading us into lap number 2 and turn number 1. We're right behind the Porsche. We're going to try to make a move on the inside heading to turn number 1, but the Porsche outbrakes himself, decides to take himself out, so we're able to make another position there, make our way up into 11th place as we come out of turn number 2 heading into the S-curve. Nothing else happens throughout the laps as we are trying to catch up to the red Porsche as he corner cuts worse than my dad coming out of his life. Coming out of the final corner now, we're trying to make a good move coming out of the outside here. We got a really good run coming down the straightaway as we head into lap number 3. Are we going to be able to make the overtake? I think we are, as we got a better top speed since we head out the corner a lot better than he did. And we're able to swoop our way into 10th place as we head into turn number 1 and turn number 2. But as you see ahead of us, there's a car that's out into the AstroTurf, trying to make a move back into the racetrack. We get cut off again for the second race in a row as we make contact with the RA, getting into S-curve now. We're trying to keep it as pinched as we can as we try to catch up to the RA. As you can see, he's still kind of twitchy from coming in from the AstroTurf. As we're trying to keep it onto the outside here, heading into the end of S-curve. We're keeping it onto the outside. We're going to try to make a move coming onto Degner 1, but we get tapped and we get punished and we get spun out by the Porsche behind us. As we go to the replay here, you see he makes contact with us and then goes out wide, pushes us out, and we get spun out heading out of S-curve as we're trying to make a move on the Porsche now that went out wide as well. We're going to try to keep it on the inside, cutting to Degner 1. We keep it onto the inside. He goes a little bit wide as we try to keep it on the inside again, heading into Degner 2. We make a very narrow exit, but we lose the back end and we lose 2 more positions as that's going to be race over for us. So coming into the final lap now, out of the final corner, we were not able to capitalize on this race and we finished in unlucky position number 13. So very bad race. That's where we had to end it off for the video, as I didn't want to try another one as we were just gradually getting worse and worse throughout these races. So I decided to cut it off right there, and hopefully just got to practice a little bit more and hopefully we can get a better position in the future races. Anyways, if you guys really enjoyed the video, again, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and if you guys really like the content, leave a like on the video as it really helps out the channel as well. And hope to see you guys on the next one. See you guys later. Peace out.